Okay, so that medicine cabinet of yours. The one with like 15 different bottles, half of them expired, most of them you bought because someone told you they were important. Let's talk about that. Because here's the truth. A lot of people over 50 are spending serious money on supplements that aren't doing much of anything. And I'm not talking about the obviously sketchy stuff, the miracle weight loss pills and whatever Dr. Oz was pushing last week. I'm talking about the mainstream, widely recommended supplements that everyone assumes are helping. Some of them aren't. Some of them are basically expensive urine. And some of them might actually be doing more harm than good. Now look, I'm not anti-supplement, not at all. There are specific supplements that genuinely matter after 50. Things your body needs more of as you age. Things you're probably not getting enough of from food alone. But the supplement industry is a mess. It's poorly regulated, full of marketing hype, and most people are just guessing at what to take based on what they saw at the pharmacy or what their neighbor recommended. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through 5 supplements you're probably wasting money on, and I'll explain why the research doesn't support what you've been told. Then I'm going to tell you what actually works, the stuff that's backed by real evidence, the stuff that makes a measurable difference for people over 50. Let's clean out that cabinet and start fresh. Before we get into the list, I want to explain why this matters beyond just saving a few bucks a month. The supplement industry is worth something like $150 billion globally. That's not a typo. Billion with a B. And a huge chunk of that money comes from people over 50 who are trying to protect their health, maintain their energy, keep their joints working, stay sharp. Good intentions all around. But here's what's happening. Most supplements are sold based on theory, not evidence. The pitch goes something like, this nutrient does X in your body, therefore taking more of it as a supplement will give you more of X. Sounds logical, except it often doesn't work that way. Your body isn't a simple input-output machine. Nutrients interact with each other. Absorption matters, form matters, dose matters. And what happens in a lab or in theory doesn't always translate to what happens when you actually swallow a pill. There was a big analysis, this was published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, where researchers looked at data from dozens of studies involving hundreds of thousands of people. And what they found was that for most common supplements, there was no benefit for cardiovascular health, no benefit for longevity, no benefit for preventing chronic disease. Some even showed potential harm. That's not me being cynical, that's the data. And this is what concerns me. People take these supplements and they feel like they're doing something proactive for their health. They feel protected. Meanwhile, the things that would actually make a difference, whether that's specific nutrients they're genuinely deficient in, or lifestyle factors, or getting proper testing, those things get ignored. Because the supplement cabinet gives a false sense of security. I see this constantly. Someone comes in, they're taking 8 different supplements every morning, spending $80, $100 a month, and when we actually test their levels, they're deficient in the things they're not taking and taking things they don't need. So this isn't just about money, it's about making sure your effort actually counts. Let's start with the supplements that need to go. Alright, number 1 on the chopping block, glucosamine and chondroitin. This is a big one because so many people over 50 take this for joint health. It's been recommended for decades. It's in every pharmacy, every health store. Your doctor might have even suggested it. Here's the problem. The research just doesn't back it up anymore. There was a huge trial, the GATE study, funded by the National Institutes of Health, that looked at glucosamine and chondroitin for knee osteoarthritis. Over 1,500 participants. And what they found was that for most people, these supplements performed no better than placebo, no better than a sugar pill. There was a small subgroup with moderate to severe pain that showed some benefit, but for the general population, nothing significant. And that study isn't alone. Multiple meta-analyses have come to similar conclusions. The effect, if there is one, is small enough that it's hard to distinguish from placebo. Now, to be fair, some people swear by it. They started taking glucosamine and their knees feel better. And I'm not going to tell someone their experience isn't real. But here's the thing about joint pain. It fluctuates. It has good weeks and bad weeks. And when you start a new supplement during a bad week, and then you naturally have a better week, it's easy to credit the supplement. That's not evidence, that's coincidence plus hope. If you've been taking glucosamine for years, and you're convinced it helps you, okay, But if you're just starting out or you're looking to save money, this is an easy one to cut. Number 2, the standard multivitamin. And I know this one might ruffle some feathers, because multivitamins feel like insurance, right? Just cover your bases, take one pill, you're good. Except, it doesn't really work like that. Most multivitamins are poorly formulated. They contain nutrients in forms your body doesn't absorb well. They have doses that are either too low to matter or too high and compete with each other for absorption. Calcium and iron in the same pill? They block each other. Vitamins without the cofactors needed to use them. Wasted. And the research on general multivitamin use is pretty underwhelming. A big study in the Archives of Internal Medicine followed nearly 40,000 older women for about 20 years, and they found no benefit from multivitamin use for heart disease, cancer, or overall mortality. Some analyses have even suggested potential harm with certain formulations. The idea that you can cram everything into one pill and call it good nutrition, it's marketing, not science. If you have specific deficiencies, you need specific supplements at proper doses. A multivitamin is like bringing a Swiss Army knife to a job that needs a proper toolbox. Number 3, calcium supplements on their own. This one's important, especially for women who've been told for years to take calcium for bone health. Yes, calcium matters for bones. That's not wrong, but taking calcium as an isolated supplement, without the other nutrients it needs to actually get into your bones, that's where things go sideways. See, calcium doesn't just automatically go to your bones when you swallow it. It needs vitamin D to be absorbed. It needs vitamin K2 to be directed to the right place. Without K2 especially, that calcium can end up depositing in your arteries instead of your skeleton. There's actually research linking high-dose calcium supplementation to increased cardiovascular risk. A meta-analysis in the BMJ found that calcium supplements without co-administered vitamin D were associated with a higher risk of heart attack. So it's not that calcium is bad, it's that taking it wrong might be worse than not taking it at all. We'll talk about the right way to approach this in a minute. Number 4, cheap fish oil. And I want to be careful here because omega-3s are legitimately important. This isn't about fish oil being useless, it's about most fish oil products being garbage. Here's the issue. Fish oil oxidizes. It goes rancid. And when it does, it becomes inflammatory, the exact opposite of what you're taking it for. Studies have tested fish oil products off the shelves and found that a significant percentage were already oxidized before they even reached the consumer. You can't always smell it or taste it, but it's happening. Then there's the dose problem. Most cheap fish oil capsules have maybe 300 milligrams of actual EPA and DHA, the omega-3s that matter. The research showing benefits typically uses doses of 2 to 3 grams. So that single capsule you're taking? It's a fraction of what actually moves the needle. You'd need to take like 8 of them daily, and at that point, you're probably getting more rancid oil than benefit. Number 5. Collagen powders. This one's trendy right now. Everyone's putting collagen in their coffee, their smoothies, promising better skin, better joints, better everything. Okay, let me be real with you. When you eat collagen, your body breaks it down into amino acids. It doesn't just go straight to your skin or your cartilage like some kind of targeted delivery system. Your body uses those amino acids however it needs to, which might be for collagen synthesis or might be for 100 other things. The studies showing benefits from collagen supplements exist, but they're often small, often industry-funded, and the effects are modest. Is it harmful? No. Is it worth $40 a month? Probably not. You could get the same amino acids from bone broth or just eating protein. And this is where I want you to really think about what's happening here. You're spending real money every month, $50, $100, sometimes $200 on supplements. And for a lot of people, most of that is going toward products that either don't work, aren't absorbed, or aren't addressing what their body actually needs. Meanwhile, the deficiencies that are actually dragging down their energy, their mood, their joint health, their brain function, those go unaddressed. Because they never got tested, they never got specific, they just bought whatever the store recommended. That's not health optimization, that's hope in a bottle, and you deserve better than that. Alright, so what actually works? What should you be taking after 50 that has real evidence behind it? First, vitamin D3 paired with K2. This is probably the most universally useful supplement for people over 50. Vitamin D deficiency is incredibly common, especially if you live somewhere without year-round sun or you spend most of your time indoors. And low vitamin D is linked to weaker bones, poor immune function, fatigue, even mood issues. But here's the key: take it with K2. Remember what I said about calcium going to the wrong places? K2 helps direct calcium into your bones and teeth where it belongs, and away from your arteries where it doesn't. D3 and K2 together. They work as a team. Get your levels tested if you can. You're aiming for somewhere between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter. Most people need somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 IUs daily to get there, but it varies. Second, magnesium. This mineral is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body: energy production, muscle function, nervous system regulation, sleep quality. And most people don't get enough from food alone. Soil depletion, processed diets, stress, it all adds up to widespread deficiency. The tricky part is the form. Magnesium oxide, which is what's in most cheap supplements, is poorly absorbed. Look for magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate. Glycinate is particularly good if you're taking it for sleep or relaxation. Start with around 200 to 400 milligrams at night. Third, quality omega-3s. I know I just told you to ditch cheap fish oil, but that doesn't mean omega-3s aren't important. They are. You just need to be selective. Look for a product that's third-party tested for purity and freshness. Check the EPA and DHA content. You want at least a gram combined per serving. Triglyceride form absorbs better than ethyl ester, and keep it refrigerated. If you don't want to deal with fish oil at all, algae-based omega-3s are a solid alternative. That's actually where the fish get their omega-3s in the first place. Fourth, CoQ10, especially if you're over 50 or on a statin. CoQ10 is a compound your body uses to produce energy at the cellular level, right there in the mitochondria we talked about earlier. Your natural production declines with age, and statins, which a lot of people over 50 are on, actively deplete it. The ubiquinol form is better absorbed than ubiquinone, especially as you get older. Typical dose is 100 to 200 milligrams daily. Some people notice a real difference in energy levels within a few weeks. And fifth, B12. We covered this in another video, but it's worth repeating. After 50, your ability to absorb B12 from food decreases. Deficiency causes fatigue, brain fog, weakness, and it's more common than most people realize. A sublingual B12, the kind that dissolves under your tongue, bypasses the absorption issue in your gut. Methylcobalamin is the preferred form. So that's your short list. D3 with K2, magnesium, quality omega-3s, CO, Q10, and B12. 5 supplements with actual research behind them, targeting actual issues that affect people over 50. Now here's what I want you to think about. What are you actually trying to achieve? More energy? Better joint health? Sharper thinking? Longer health span? Get clear on that. Then get tested where you can. Vitamin D, B12, and magnesium are all things you can measure. And build your supplement strategy around what your body actually needs. Not what's trending, not what's on sale, what you specifically need. That's how you stop wasting money. And that's how you start actually moving the needle on your health. All right, that's the list. If this helped you rethink what's in your cabinet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming that cut through the noise and give you the real information. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.